They thought she was weak. They thought she was just a woman in a conquered land. They were wrong. One woman would burn their cities. One woman would make the Roman Empire afraid. One woman would come so close to breaking Rome in Britain that her name would be whispered long after she was gone. Her name was Boudica. Welcome to Cammy the Story Teller. This is how her anger turned into fire. Long before England was called England, before castles and crowns, there were tribes. One of those tribes was the Iceni. They lived on the land quietly. They farmed, traded, raised families, and honored their gods. It was not a perfect life, but it was their life. Boudica was born into this world. She was tall, strong, with long red hair that fell down her back. People remembered her voice because when she spoke like someone who expected to be heard. She married King Prasutagus, the ruler of the Iceni. Together, they ruled peacefully under a difficult arrangement. Because Rome had arrived. The Romans did not just conquer with swords. They conquered with rules, taxes, and fear. Some tribes fought them and lost everything. Others, like the Iceni, tried another way. They cooperated, hoping peace would protect them. Prasutagus believed this lie. He ruled as a client king under Rome. The Romans watched him. They taxed the people. They took what they wanted. Still, Prasutagus thought if he stayed loyal, his family would be safe. When he grew old, he made one last decision. He wrote a will. He left his kingdom to Rome and his daughters, hoping this would protect them. He thought Rome would respect the law. Rome laughed. The moment Prasutagus died, everything changed. Roman soldiers stormed Iceni land. They said the kingdom now belonged to Rome alone. They ignored the will. They ignored custom. They ignored mercy. Then they went further. They stripped Boudica naked and whipped her in public. They assaulted her 2 young daughters. They seized land, enslaved nobles, and treated the Iceni like animals. This was not politics anymore. This was humiliation. And something broke inside Boudica. She had been a queen. She had been patient. She had been silent. Not anymore. Boudica gathered her people. She stood before them, still bleeding, still shaking, but burning inside. She did not speak like a queen begging for help. She spoke like a mother whose children had been touched. Like a woman whose dignity had been destroyed. She said this was not about gold. Not about land. This was about freedom or death. And the people listened. Other tribes listened too. The Trinovantes joined her. Warriors left their farms. Old men picked up weapons. Women followed her into battle. They were tired of Roman arrogance. Tired of fear. Boudica became more than a queen. She became a symbol. She rode a chariot into battle, her daughters beside her, her red hair flying like fire. She called on the gods. She promised revenge. And the people roared. Their first target was Camulodunum, a Roman settlement built on stolen land. The Romans had no real defenses. They believed the natives were weak. They were wrong. Boudica's army destroyed the city. They burned it to the ground. Roman soldiers died screaming. Temples collapsed. Nothing was spared. When Roman reinforcements came, Boudica crushed them too. Word spread fast. The Roman governor, Suetonius Paulinus, rushed back from another campaign. But before he could stop her, Boudica struck again. Next was Londinium. Yes, London. At the time, it was just a trading town. Suetonius knew he could not defend it. He abandoned the city, leaving the people behind. Boudica arrived. The city burned. Everyone left behind was killed. Then came Verulamium. Burned. Destroyed. Wiped away. By now, Boudica had killed tens of thousands of Romans and Roman supporters. Her name spread across Britain like a storm. Roman soldiers whispered about her. Some panicked. Some deserted. For a moment, it looked like Rome could actually lose Britain. But anger is powerful and dangerous. Boudica's army was huge, but it was not disciplined. They celebrated victories. They carried families and loot with them. They believed the gods had already decided the outcome. Rome, however, was patient. Suetonius chose the battlefield carefully. A narrow road. Forests on both sides. No room for Boudica's numbers to overwhelm him. When the battle came, Boudica spoke again. She reminded her people why they were there. She said she would win or die trying. The fighting was brutal. At first, the Britons charged with fury. But Roman formation held. Their armor, discipline, and tactics slowly turned the tide. The narrow field trapped Boudica's warriors. Panic spread. Retreat became impossible. Families waiting behind the lines blocked escape. It became a slaughter. The rebellion ended that day. No one knows exactly how Boudica died. Some say she took poison. Others say illness claimed her. Rome never captured her alive. They never paraded her in chains. And that mattered. Rome tightened its control after that. But it also learned a lesson. They ruled Britain more carefully. Less cruelty. Less arrogance. They had seen what one woman could do. Today, Boudica still stands. Not as a defeated queen. Not as a failed rebel. But as proof that power does not always come from armies or crowns. Sometimes, power comes from a woman who refuses to bow. And Rome never forgot her name. Thank you for listening to Cammy the Story Teller. If you enjoyed the story of the fierce Celtic queen, please like and subscribe for more interesting stories.